This is not financial advice, it's just a wine talking. Welcome back to It's Just a Wine. I'm your host Melissa. Joining me today, Gassia, Tal, and we're thrilled to have a special guest, Leon. As we dive into the world of watches, he's the owner of La Maison Monaco as well as several other brands. He actually has stores in our incredible Royal Mount and as well as across Quebec and Ontario.
That's right.
So welcome, and we're happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. This is episode 32.
Yes.
You made it.
Counting. So Leon, before we get into it, do you want to share with us a win of the week?
A win of the week. Yes, actually a great win. We just opened our latest store in Royal Mount. So September 5th, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary of being at Royal Mount. So
already? Wow.
Yeah, it's been 1 year already.
Can't believe this already.
So yeah, actually September 4th, we opened our latest store, which is Mont Blanc, as many of you may know as the pen. Like we sell pens, watches, leather goods. So yeah, that's our latest one.
That's a great win.
Thank
Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, we're thrilled.
Yeah. Actually, I will need to come and pass by.
Definitely.
And visit the store. It looks really nice. Like it looks...
Yeah, it made me realize so many things that I didn't know I needed, but all of a sudden I need now.
Honestly,
I swear.
it's so nice. It's so like, I feel like underrated sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's so beautiful.
Well, because I
and
mean, the brands
simple.
are the brands, right? Like you think of like the big brands that everyone knows of. Like you can spot it a mile away, but not everyone wants that. Sometimes people value like discreet luxury, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
I think it fits the discreet luxury like category perfectly.
Yeah, I agree.
And for me, if I think of Mont Blanc, I don't know about you guys, I always think about the pens.
Yeah.
I don't think about...
that's their top
Yeah, but for
seller,
me, I don't think about their leather goods or other things that they sell.
true.
So for me, it's just like pens.
I think of like really nice briefcases.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
No, my husband wants one so badly.
Christmas.
Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Perfect. So before we get into it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe is the most important. And just leave a comment down below.
And if you haven't passed by La Maison Monaco, make sure you do.
Definitely at Royal Mount
Yes.
in Montreal. Must see. So before we start, would you like to introduce yourself and share a bit of what you do professionally and
Yeah,
etc.?
of course. So my name is Leon. I work in my family business. So we're the owners of La Maison Monaco. So we own multiple stores from multi-brands, so stores where we sell multiple watch and jewelry brands. We have our own jewelry line. We do custom jewelry as well, and we're also boutique operators. So what boutique operators mean? So like for example, at Royal Mount, you'll see an Omega boutique, Tag Heuer boutique, IWC Mont Blanc boutique. We operate those boutiques as well. So outside of our name, we operate different names and in different locations as well. So for example, in Montreal. Different areas of Montreal, Ottawa, Quebec City. So we're a little bit everywhere, and it's a family business. It's all hands on deck, and I think that's our recipe for success, really. Yeah.
I love that, actually. But actually, a question to you. I know that you have a Tag Heuer store in Royal Mount.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a store in Ontario?
Yeah, so actually, we opened the second Tag Heuer boutique in Canada a couple years ago now, which was in Ottawa. So that was our first Tag Heuer boutique. It was in Ottawa, and the second one would be in Montreal.
Oh, awesome.
Same thing for Omega. Yeah, so...
Why did I think Tag Heuer is pronounced Tag Heuer?
It's Tag Heuer.
Oh,
It's
Heuer,
German
yeah.
pronunciation.
Okay.
Heuer.
Tag
Yeah.
Heuer.
Oh.
Heuer.
Tag Heuer.
It's a little rusty.
Sorry,
It's okay. You're still good. You should hear how some of my clients butcher the name.
I mean, look.
I love you, clients.
Tag Heuer is just easier to pronounce. Tag Heuer.
That's how I've always said
Tag
Tag Heuer.
Heuer.
Tag Heuer.
Okay. Anyways, what was it like growing up surrounded by retail and luxury goods?
So, I mean, to me, it was just, I was born into this thing. So for me, this thing was completely natural. It was normal. I didn't make much of it. I mean, personally, like growing up, I always knew that. I was always told that, this is the family business, and like there was no pressure, but it was always like, this is kind of what I'm supposed to do. Like this is like, my family is building this, and like it only makes sense for me to take it over. But I didn't really have like a deep appreciation for what we were doing, because I simply didn't understand it at all. So
You're doing great.
If I may share a story, so what really got me into this, I was maybe about like, I want to say 17 or 18 years old. I was totally lost. I did not know what I wanted out of my life. I was completely lost. And it was kind of like thrown into the fire a little bit, where one day I was supposed to work at our downtown location. And I didn't know anything about watches or jewelry. So I show up there and I didn't know how to dress. I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know anything. I was this shy, chubby kid who showed up at work. And people started asking me questions, and I don't know what to answer. And that feeling of not knowing how to answer and how to, this is my family business. Like, I'm supposed to represent, the brand. And people are asking me questions. I don't know what to answer. I didn't want to feel that way ever again. So it was there that I really threw myself into books and reading and wanting to know everything there is to know about this industry, watches and jewelry. And once I really understood what the craftsmanship and the importance of how these brands operate and storytelling and branding, it's I never looked back since then. Wow. So it was a true fascination and passion for fine watchmaking and jewelry.
Yeah, I can definitely see that you have a passion for it. And that's actually amazing, because you developed communication skills at a very young age where people don't at that age.
And I know Leon since I was a kid. And I've always said this to you. You've done a 360 with socializing. You've grown to be an amazing.
I said I was the shy, chubby kid, and really
I didn't mention chubby, but 100%.
I'm just. But it's really, if I have to give thanks to anything, it was business. It's I don't know if I found it or it found me, whatever it was, maybe both. But in a way, I'm lucky and I'm blessed that I had this opportunity, that this was my family business. But even at that, I'd like to think that nothing was given, and I really put years into personal development, not only in product knowledge, specific knowledge, but everything that goes around let's say branding, marketing, communication, talking to people, whatever is business related. So yeah, I have to thank the family business for that, really.
And you're very lucky to have this what do you call it?
A passion or drive?
Yeah, because we were born in we had a family business, and obviously it wasn't the same industry, but for girls, car industry wasn't something that kind of, even till when we were 18, 19, it didn't grow on us. So you're lucky that you have, and you love your family business, and you're gonna take it to another level.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I see it. You're totally right on that, because I see it as this opportunity that was given to you, and you took it, challenged it, and made it into something huge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is amazing. Yeah. So to our next question, scaling from one store to multiple across Quebec and Ontario isn't easy. What financial strategies made that possible?
Well, financial strategies, if you look at it, it's not we have a fixed guideline on how to do these things, but really it's, when we approach a new project, for example, we tend to approach it with very conservative estimates of okay, well, if we open this many square foot store, this is what rent costs on average, this is what salaries cost, this is how much investment we have to put into renovating the store, brand investment, and we take very conservative calculations, very conservative approaches. And if that makes sense for us, then we move ahead with the project. And listen, our recipe for moving forward with a project is very simple. We need to have the best people, or passionate people, selling the best brands in the best locations. We could have great brands, but if we're not, we don't have great people selling them in great locations, it's not worth anything, or it's not worth much rather. So it's this recipe of people, brand, and location. It's what
You're
it is.
so right. And I've seen this thing online where a water bottle selling at the airport is so much more than a water bottle being sold at the Dep.
Yeah,
which is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Location.
Yeah. How do you balance immediate profitability with building a long-term luxury brand?
That's a good one. Well, in terms of profitability, it really helps having the whole family all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a 24/7 thing. But long-term profitability, listen, it's just been growth all the way through and through. It's just been growth, reinvesting. But investing in these projects and putting our hearts and souls into these things and seeing how they're being profitable, and us, it gives us hope, and it allows us to re-inject those finances into newer projects, funding these newer projects. So I don't know if that answers the question
100%.
properly, but
That's perfect.
Yeah,
actually,
it's
that's
all
what
been
I would be hoping for, because when your business is scaling at a large growing at a large scale, you should be injecting the profit that you're making so that it grows.
Of course, but you need to have that vision, right? Like, we have a vision on what we want to be able to achieve and execute, right? We want to execute at this highest possible level. So it's our duty to find ways to scale and grow. It's like, I firmly believe this, like in your personal life, and it's the same thing in business as well, is the day you stop growing is the day you start dying. You have to find ways to grow. You have to find ways to evolve and adapt. Adaptability is a huge one. You need to be able to spot trends, what things are moving towards, what the consumer is thinking, what the consumer is buying. You always have to be aware of what your consumer wants, right? Like, I'm on the field, but I'm not necessarily all the time interacting one-on-one with customers as much as I would like. And for our team that's working at the head office, they don't know what people on the floor, what's going on the floor. So it's very important for there's a top-down, understanding that, like, okay, we don't know what's going on the floor, but we need to understand what our consumers are thinking, how they're thinking, what the trends are, in order for us to adapt and evolve as a company and as a brand. That's the number one thing. Like, what's that quote? Like, if, insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result, well, that's what it is. You have to, you can't expect great results when you're doing something bad. So you evolve, you move on, and you spot new trends.
It's so funny you say that, because it's actually a great strategy, and there's this strategy called recursive binary splitting. It's a math approach where they split groups, and in order to spot trends, and it's exactly explained how you just explained your strategy. And I love that, because not a lot of people notice that some of the things you apply in life have to do with math, and you just perfectly explained recursive binary splitting, and that's how the math world predicts future approaches.
Yeah,
love that.
I have no idea about what you just said, but we'll take it.
Because actuaries, it's actuarial terms.
No,
right?
This is a
you said
it's a risk management term.
Well, exactly. Actuaries usually predict, the future and this and that. So it's kind of like.
But I liked how he
right?
explained the way how it's a top-down approach where they look at trends in a certain way. But when you look at it in my point of view, he's explaining recursive binary splitting, and that's how you predict the future.
Sure.
In decision trees.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
So how have you seen luxury spending change in the last 5 to 10 years?
Oh, it has gone up like incrementally. Like it's not so. Talking about trends, so this is how we evolved and adapted. Because if you look at our business, even I would say maybe 10 years ago or even less, we didn't have this strong presence in the luxury segment. Like, we had some presence in the entry level to mid-level luxury, and it just takes time to get to the luxury level as well. But we saw a trend where brands were becoming stronger and stronger, and luxury was, I guess you could say, luxury is never going to die, because people, they work hard, and they want to spend luxuries, they want to treat themselves. So when we saw where these things were going, where our competitors was becoming Amazon and department stores like the Bay and whatnot, it doesn't interest us anymore to be competing with Walmart and Sears and, well, at the time, and it didn't interest us, right? So Costco. Yeah, so exclusivity, right? So it took us a long time to establish ourselves in the luxury space, but we did it, and it's going to keep growing. So yeah, it's completely different, because when you sell a brand, right, when you sell a small brand, you're competing with tons of different people, like names I mentioned, like Amazon, Walmart, whoever. So it just becomes transactional. You're fighting over discounts and prices, right? And that has nothing to do with luxury, and we don't like that. So when you're going into the higher category, like let's say in the luxury segment where we're selling like expensive watches and jewelry, it's no longer a game of discounting or discount battles. It's hospitality. We want to differentiate ourselves in hospitality, providing a high level of customer service and hospitality. So yeah, and I think there's so much room for that to grow. I yes, people are shopping online, but at the end of the day, it's in our nature. It's in our human nature to have social interaction, and especially, being made felt special, right? So I think there's lots of room for luxury to grow.
I also believe that, of trend, a lot of people are leaning more on watches these days.
Yeah.
Like before, I would feel like people would invest in
bags.
a bag or something, but now they would like to invest more in a watch.
Yeah.
Especially our age.
How is selling online different than buying in store? Like, is it mostly online or it's mostly in stores?
We sell online. I mean, we have a presence online, but it's nothing compared to in-store.
Yeah.
It's nothing compared, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're in the market, now it's all relative. Expensive is a relative term. But if you're in the market to, like, let's say buy a $10,000 or $20,000 watch.
You're going to want to wear it. Try it on.
You want to try it on, but also you want to compare it to other watches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it only makes sense.
It's like going car shopping. You want to check your...
But also
Options.
the experience is nice too.
Yeah. I was just curious to see like what, because I know e-com is so high, like everybody just buys online, but obviously you guys are different, and other luxury brands.
But also, I feel
ordering
like-
a $20,000
exactly.
watch with a shipping company.
You're right,
I don't
yeah.
know what happens.
Yeah,
It was
but
just a question.
I think you said the key word. I think you said experience, and that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
You can walk into a department store and pick up a $200-$300 watch. There's no experience there. It's a transaction, right? But this is what we have to focus on in this category, in this segment, is experiences.
Yeah.
It's only experiences.
And I feel like luxury offers that.
Well, it
Everything.
should offer it, yeah.
Depends where
when
you
you go
go.
somewhere, that you
Depends
buy
where you go.
something and they give you a champagne glass.
Yeah.
They want you to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does depend. It does
Yeah.
depend where you go, because a lot of times, like luxury, you feel like you're being judged sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is the last thing we want.
Yeah.
You know what? We're passionate about what we do. So you know what? You taking time out of your day to walk into one of our shops, we're honored, we're thrilled. Let's sit down, let's have a chat, let's have a coffee, let's try on some watches. You want to buy, great. You don't want to buy, at least we had a pleasant interaction.
Exactly.
Right?
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
I agree.
And there's no judging.
Are younger buyers approaching luxury differently compared to your parents' generation of clientele?
Yeah. Well, there are some similarities, but I think we do see a lot of young buyers, and they're doing a lot of research. This is one thing that we're seeing, and we actually encourage this, because the brands that we sell and the brands that we're authorized dealers for, is we stand by the values of these brands. And so we want people to go out there and do their research. We want people to go out there, read the blogs, watch YouTube. There are some great content creators online who talk about watches and why you should go with this one over that one. And so we see this more where the consumer is more well informed. Where if you look at 15, 20 years ago, people would walk into the store and they had zero information about, the brands that you were selling. So you could pretty much tell them anything because you were the expert or the professional, and they would kind of believe you, and then maybe potentially regret it because they were told lies, and it has nothing to do with the way we want to do business. We want our clients to be informed either through us, because we stand by what we say, and you can back it up by looking at information online. And at the end of the day, I'm a watch enthusiast. We want to have watch enthusiasts work at the store because we're in it for the passion. We love what we do, and it's such a joy for us to have well-informed clients. And to answer your question, yes, the difference with the younger consumer is they're very well informed. I mean, we see this a bit less in watches. We see it a little bit more in jewelry, for example, where younger consumers are going more towards lab-grown diamond versus natural diamonds, right? Sometimes it's a moral or ethical issue, and we have natural diamonds for those who want natural diamonds. We have lab-grown diamonds for those who want lab-grown diamonds.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's perfectly fine.
Okay.
I think it's perfectly fine. Yeah, a lot of people ask me, yeah, you as a jeweler, when you get married, would you offer a lab-grown diamond? Yes, I would. I'm totally okay with lab-grown diamond. I think lab-grown diamonds are perfectly fine. It's just the next thing. It's not synthetic. It's not fake. It's just a lab-grown diamond. It's a diamond at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. But as an engagement ring, a real diamond would be nice. But after that, do whatever you want.
Okay, so let me ask you, what do you think? Do you think it must be a natural diamond, or?
Yeah, it's unique like me. It's picked.
Fair. No, fair.
It's picked for me. It's not like made in a lab, which is fine. Again,
If my sister were here, she would be like, would you want to eat a lab-grown chicken?
We are.
I know.
We are eating
That's
lab-grown chicken.
That's what I said.
Yeah, we are.
But that's what she would always say.
Yeah.
But even though lab grown is totally fine and a lot of people wear it, and I wouldn't mind having anything lab, except for the engagement ring, I would like it.
Yeah, like
The first one.
because people buy lab made for other reasons, like a 3-carat ring or 4-carat. I don't need that. Like 0.5 is fine. Like you don't have to like go out of your way, right?
That's the thing.
That's the difference.
I personally believe that people go opt out to lab because they can get a bigger size.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, if the engagement ring you've always dreamt of is, let's say, what today in natural would be somewhere in the $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 price range, but you're able to get the same thing for a quarter of the price in lab.
You're right. You're right.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's what is right or wrong for you. And we have
Yeah.
both at La Maison Monaco, so you can settle the debate at the store.
Yeah.
I think I've made my decision.
Great. Fantastic. So we have natural diamonds at La Maison Monaco as well.
Good.
Awesome.
So, I have another question for you. Do you see watches as a reliable investment class?
So, do I see it as an investment class? Yes, it's an alternative asset. Reliable? No. Yeah, I don't. So,
Why?
well, you look at the historical performance of watches, it hasn't been as great. It has, like, if you look at let's say 2020, well, the performance wasn't that great. I mean, it's after the COVID years where like all these watch prices started skyrocketing, right? There are always exceptions like rare pieces and whatnot, certain references always. But to go out and to say that like I would consider watches as an investment class, personally, I wouldn't do that.
Really?
Because no, if you wanna store your money in something that you're guaranteed that it's gonna go up, without timing the market, buy an index fund or put your money in real estate. I cannot, in good conscience, tell someone buy this thing because it's an asset store for you.
So for example, people cannot buy Rolexes. Let's say someone buys it for 20,000.
Yeah.
And there is none available.
Yeah.
You cannot sell it for more.
Of course you can.
But that's not an investment.
So for
kind
example,
of.
so I'll expand on this a little bit.
No.
So
You just made profit. Sorry, I cut you off.
So I'll expand on this a little bit. So yes, if you certain Rolex references, Patek Philippe, Richard Mille, Audemars Piguet, some of these brands, if you're able to buy it at retail, some of them will go up in value almost immediately, double, triple the value, whatever it is. But not everyone can just walk into a Rolex store or an AP store or a Patek store and buy these references, right? So I talk to a lot of collectors, enthusiasts, people who've been in this watch game far longer than I've been alive. And people say that like, I got into this for the love of watchmaking. And the people who got into it that long ago are the most profitable by dumb luck. They just got into it because they have a fascination for watches, right? They didn't get into it because maybe one day, this is going to go up in value. Back then, I mean, Rolex wasn't the same brand it is today. And there's nothing that's going to guarantee that Rolex is going to be the same brand in 10 years. So we always say past performance doesn't guarantee future results, right? It's pretty much the same thing. What if Rolex makes 10 times the watches that they're making currently? Are watches on the secondary market going to trade at the same price? No, it's something they can control. A corporation controls, right? So for me to say, well, listen, if you bought a gold watch 20, 30 years ago, the gold price alone went up. So maybe you can consider it that way, where if you buy gold, right, the gold price itself is going to have some value. But I always say a valuable watch is a watch that's working. And when you buy a mechanical watch with complications or precious metals, it's going to be worth something. Is it going to be worth more or less the same? I don't know, but it's going to be worth something, right? And it would be malpractice of me to tell someone to buy this watch because it's going to go up in value. I cannot in good conscience do that. Yeah.
Interesting. I always thought like people bought watches I guess for what you said, profitable. They buy.
He said, if you bought it if you bought it today at the market's price,
retail price,
and you hold on to it for maybe another 5 years, who knows what the price went.
Yeah, and certain limited editions as well. Like Tag Heuer makes great limited editions. You know, that just logically, because there is a certain limited amount, you know, does it have a higher probability that, I mean, there's going to retain a higher value? It has a higher probability, but again, no guarantees.
But that's
right?
exactly what I mean. Like, it depends on so many factors, whereas I don't see it as an investment. Maybe, yeah, it holds the value or it might not. But to me, an investment, it's not a guaranteed return, but it promises a return.
Like, you look at so many people who got into, like, let's say watches, or even like, you know, like these high flying tech stocks, like when the COVID like thing was happening, the bubble, or the, not bubble, but you know, the peak of the COVID years, right? So let's take an example of a Rolex white dial Daytona that was trading at some point. This is a watch that retailed at the time, I want to say $15,000 plus tax, was reselling for $80,000.
Wow.
I know people who got in at the top and they got burned hard. And so, you know, that leaves a bad taste for people. So they abandoned the idea of watches altogether.
Wow.
And that, you know, those aren't enthusiasts. Those aren't collectors. They're not getting in it for the right reasons.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Would you buy it at that price?
No.
No, absolutely not.
No, let's say you really, I don't mean that specific watch,
go ahead, yeah.
but like you really want this specific watch,
Yep.
and I'm sure you have connections, you could get it, but like let's say you can't get it, but you see it somewhere that is selling it for 3 times the price. Would you buy it as a collector?
If I really wanted this thing, I would. And I'll tell you why, okay? And this is a little bit of like information for people who are considering buying a Rolex. Like, this might be useful information. So if you want certain watches, certain references, right? There is no way around it. You're probably gonna have to have a client history, purchase history with an authorized dealer for Rolex, right? And typically, if you spend a lot of money on things that, you know, is not Rolex in these jewelry stores, for example, like jewelry or other watch brands, you're increasing the likelihood of being allocated the Rolex that you want. I'm not saying you're guaranteeing it, you're just increasing the likelihood. And you'll most probably get it eventually, with some exceptions for sure. But what I see with my customers sometimes is realizing that they've spent so much money on things that they didn't necessarily want to then be allocated a Rolex that they're gonna make some money on. So for example, let's take a watch that is selling for $15,000 now trading for $30,000. So you had to spend $80,000 or $100,000 on watches and jewelry that you didn't really want or need, so then you can be allocated a $15,000 watch. Why didn't you just buy that watch on the secondary market for $30,000?
That's exactly how I see as people. I'm sorry, this is like a little bit off topic, but like the Hermes game is kind of similar. In my opinion, if I wanted a Birkin and a secondary market brand new is selling it for 30 grand, instead of me spending on shoes and other stuff that I don't really need, I'll just buy it at that price.
And by the way, like,
I agree with
this
you.
doesn't, I mean, this probably does no good for me talking about this as an authorized dealer for brands, but like really, I would rather be honest and inform people than, you know, tell them, no, come to the authorized dealer, you know, buy our stuff, no, so we can allocate you this watch. No, I'd rather be honest and, you know, explain. We're still going to offer the same service that we offer everyone, treating them the way we think they deserve to be treated, you know, with hospitality. But this is just the reality. Not everyone wants to play that game.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to buy on the secondary market, and that's totally fine. That's why we're there. Some people are okay with it. So, you know, there's a way you can buy a watch in the way that you want. You know, maybe you want to buy that jewelry. You want to spoil your family. You want to spoil your wife, your husband, whatever it is. So you know what? It doesn't bother you that much, and that's totally fine. So
Yeah. But like you said, some people enjoy the game too, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun.
What's one watch that you guys would like want?
I like the Cartier Panther.
that's a great watch. Yeah.
They're nice. Cartiers are classics. Like, I feel like it's very feminine, like dainty.
Yeah.
I find the small Rolexes are nice. They're daintier.
Mm-hmm.
But I find like Cartiers are very feminine.
I really would like the mini AP.
Royal Oak.
Yeah, but it's like icy.
Oh yeah, that's a great piece.
It's my dream watch.
Yeah, it's a great watch.
That's nice.
But I don't know if I could just go in and buy it either.
Maybe not.
I don't even know where. Actually, I think there's an AP store. Correct me if I'm wrong. In Boston.
I think so.
How about you?
Wow.
A list.
I for sure have a list, but it would have
Just
to be
one, like
The top of the
one watch
list.
that like
The-
you can't even get with all the connections that you have.
the answer always changes. But even like there are some brands that, like, you know, for example, whatever we're authorized dealers for, like, you know, it's very easy to get those watches, or more attainable, let's say. But brands that we don't carry, I mean, it's always been my dream since I got into watches to like own a Grand Complication Patek Philippe, whether it's like a perpetual calendar is my favorite complication, so it would have to be a Patek perpetual calendar. One of the great brands that does perpetual calendars, maybe a bit of bias here, but trying to be as objective as I can, is IWC. They have a single crown perpetual, which for, you know, watch enthusiasts, that means
There's
a
the
lot.
one that has like the year on it, right?
Yeah.
My dad was telling me.
Yeah, that's a. Yeah,
You
I would.
should
I
too.
would love to own one day. Absolutely. Yeah.
If someone is just starting out, what's a good entry level watch?
Well, entry level again can be a bit relative. I mean, there are great watches for just a couple $100s. I mean, I personally have G-Shocks and I love them. I think
Oh
they're so
God,
useful.
my dad really
you
loves
had
G-Shocks.
Yeah.
so many colors.
You
Yeah.
guys still sell them? Like
Yes,
you guys
we do
have
in
them
certain
in your
certain locations. Yeah.
Okay.
But there are some that are that are quite expensive.
Oh, 100%. They go in the thousands.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's say if we're talking about mechanical watches, I mean, you can buy a Seiko, entry-level Seiko. It's great value. You know, value, I mean, value is, again, it's like different price point. You can have great value at different price points. If you want to get into Swiss watchmaking, Tissot is a great brand to get into watches, Swiss watches, you know, and, you know, it goes up from there. So, you know, Omega in their price point, excellent value. That's a great entry-level luxury brand. Well, when I say entry-level, like entry-level in that category, in that price segment. And why do I say that? It's because the quality of watch you're getting for the price you're paying is, in my opinion, unmatched or hard to rival. And it's the same thing with a brand like Tissot, where you pay $4, $5, up to, you know, $1,000, and you're getting your money's worth, really. Yeah, so I think it's important that, I mean, even if you go online and you do your research, you're always going to hear the same names in that price point. Longines is another one. Right now, in my opinion, across all brands, and not even irrespective of their price point, I think they're one of the hottest brands right now, because the quality of watch they're making and the price they're selling it at is very hard to beat.
Longines. And you guys sell it at
Yeah.
La Maison Monaco.
Yeah.
They have
Interesting.
nice watches.
Yeah.
I've seen them at your store. They're very nice. There was another brand that I think
Oh, it starts with an H?
Hublot?
No.
no,
wait.
it was
I
like
love
near,
Zed.
it's like near oh
With the
Zena. No, what is it? Zed.
Zenith.
Yes,
Zenith.
they have nice
Zenith
nice
are great
ones.
watches.
I mean, maybe not like in. It's not affordable. Let's say like I
Entry
don't know what the
level.
entry level.
Yeah, they tend to be
They're a bit
the
on the
1,000.
pricier side.
Yeah, 10,000 and up. But fun fact about Zenith is Zenith has a very popular watch movement mechanism called the El Primero. And back in the day, Rolex didn't make their own automatic chronograph movements. They made their Oyster Perpetual movements, but they didn't make automatic chronograph movements. So they bought their movements from Zenith. So it tells you something, that if Rolex trusted a brand to buy their movements and put their movements in their
Wow.
watches, it probably means they're doing
Yeah.
something good.
You see,
But
that's,
that's
why
why
I like
the
Zenith.
price point is
Yeah.
up there.
Zenith.
It's
Yeah.
not for anything.
Zenith. Whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they make great watches and different materials as well. Really cool.
I loved the watches.
Yeah.
The selection at your store. They were super nice.
Yeah.
You like that
Thank
pink one?
Yeah, but like no, pink you can't wear it, but it's nice to have it in your collection, but no. Something neutral that you could wear
Yeah.
every day. But anyways.
Are there risks in treating watches purely as investments rather than passion purchases?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you're purely getting into it, I mean, to trade, oh man, you're setting yourself up for a disaster.
To trade watches.
To trade watches, I mean, so if you look at watch dealers
Yeah.
during the COVID years, people who were sitting on heavy inventory got burned because everything just crashed, and they
Oh,
might have
yeah.
gotten in at the wrong times. And listen, I have good friends who do this for a living. They trade watches, but I mean, they've studied this thing for years and they've been in it for years, and it's very hard to make a living out of it, right? Because you always have to be looking at prices, trends, how things are moving. Like, if you want to put so much time into this, like you have to be really educated about what you're doing. It's the same thing like trading stocks.
Yeah.
Don't trade stocks if you're not going to study or look at what you're doing. Hedge your bets. Buy an index fund, right?
Yeah.
So,
Are you making fun of us?
I'm not at all. Actually, I've been.
No,
joking.
he just
I know.
gave great advice,
Yeah.
I know, I was joking.
Yeah.
which is what you should do. But I actually no, like what you should do is if you don't know the market or you haven't studied it, you should
Yeah.
just buy an index
And
fund.
by the way, I mean, I have some customers who want certain pieces that I cannot get for them, so I refer them to reputable people who do this for a living, like, and who do an awesome job. And I think there's a world where both of us can thrive and help each other out. It's not that we're an authorized dealer, we sell brand new, that you should come support us. Absolutely not. And I support and send customers to people who, you know, I have a good relationship with, for them to make business, right? And it's super important.
I know a few watch dealers that they're always like on the move, and when I say that, meaning when they go into a watch store, like let's say Rolex,
Yeah.
and they get offered a watch.
They'll
So
buy it.
what happened is that of course they'll buy it, and if they get offered 3, they'll buy 3 basically, and it has happened. And if it's a little risky, because if you don't end up selling it, then you're
Yeah.
just stuck with like 40 grand, or I don't know, however it must cost, but you know what I mean. But I guess those are calculated risks. But what I mean that you're always on the go to find watches that are at retail price.
Yeah.
Yeah, very few people I've seen are actually making a living only coming from watches. It's not, it's, I can't recommend it. It's not, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. It's not my expertise. It's as strange as it is to say, we're in the same industry, but it's not my expertise at all.
Yeah, because you don't. Yeah.
We don't trade watches.
Exactly.
I mean, we're authorized dealer. We're an authorized point of sale for certain brands. So we have our job is so much bigger than that. Is, you know, curating experiences. And
Exactly. You don't want to sell it to them. You want to like.
No, but also you sell brand new.
Yeah.
Watch dealers sell secondhand
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
however long it has
yeah,
been.
yeah, of course.
So yeah.
So I'll go to my next question. Where do you see the watch market heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
Can't predict it.
No.
Can't predict it. I think there are some brands who are making great watches and they're innovating within the world of watchmaking, and I think it's a beautiful thing to see. I've been, you know, it's my job to always be looking at how brands are evolving. I have my own opinions on what brands I think are growing right now, what, you know, some brands maybe I'm not totally okay with the way they're, you know, handling things, but 5 to 10 years, it's super unpredictable. I think the strong brands, because, you know, if we look at the market, like, it's very easy for brands to be able to perform in a, you know, in a bull market, right? To use a finance term, right? So, you know, in a bull market, everyone is doing well. Everyone is selling watches. Independent brands, you know, obscure, like little niche brands were doing incredibly well when you know, the market was incredibly high. Just like, you know, the stock market, whatever it was, like everything was just going up. So there's this quote from Warren Buffett I love, and I'm gonna butcher this for sure, but like I'll give you my interpretation of it. Is, you know, when it's a high tide, everyone is swimming, right? But it's when you get a low tide, you see who's swimming naked.
Yeah.
And that means that, like, people are gonna get exposed. And right now, the watch industry is not where it was just a couple of years ago with. And we see the Morgan Stanley reports on how, you know, business is declining a little bit, and some brands, they're really struggling. And I think the ones who are going to stay strong in the next 5 to 10 years are the brands who have a certain presence. I mean, who belong to groups, because that's another one. A lot of these brands belong to conglomerates, like big watch groups like LVMH, Richemont, Kering, the Swatch Group. So I think those brands are, you know, more protected against, you know, a bear market. And independents who, you know, didn't have a strong brand identity, a strong brand philosophy and things that they stood for, they might really struggle or maybe even disappear. Yeah.
Oh,
But I also believe, like, yes, certain brands belong to certain groups, but I also believe that certain brands have certain clientele. Well, whatever the market's doing, they're always gonna be clientele. It doesn't matter what's happening in the market.
Yeah.
They'll always spend because they're in a different group that will always continue.
I think it's also important that you can't always say that, like, you can't only say that we're luxury. So if we keep making luxury, people are going to keep buying luxury. I think the brands should keep making cool stuff. Just keep making cool stuff.
Collabs too kind of grab attention, no?
The right collabs.
Yeah.
I think
like,
the collabs with the swatches make.
That did a killing for the Swatch Group, right?
Oh,
and that was
gosh.
amazing. And some people criticize it because you put an Omega, a valuable brand, on a plastic watch. But like,
you guys sell swatches too,
yeah,
right?
we do in certain locations.
So my boyfriend, he got the Omega.
The swatch, the Omega Moon Swatch.
Yes, and I'm like, so ugly. Like,
Really?
I find it like
I haven't seen it.
it's
Yeah.
so ugly.
Listen,
and then he goes, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be like, the value is gonna be so good in a couple of years. I'm like, okay.
We got to see the lineup in front of the Swatch
Yeah.
store.
When it just came
Oh,
out.
it was
Yes.
released at the
But
Swatch store.
you know what? It's great. People can criticize it. Omega has just been performing better and better year after year. And you know what? The great
I love
part about
Omega
all of this
watches. They're
is
so nice.
the great part out of all of this is that more people started wearing watches that had no interest in watches. So that's great. We have more watches on people's wrists, which is fantastic.
Well, that's what I was
Love it.
saying. I feel like more people are
Yeah.
into watches,
Yeah,
and I
but-
see it more often.
And Rolexes have become a uniform. Sorry,
Yeah,
not
I
sorry.
mean, like, and going back to the point of, like, people keep on buying luxury, I think these brands have a duty to keep making cool stuff.
But what do you think about the new Rolex watch?
Which one?
Dweller?
The Land Dweller?
Land Dweller.
I think the movement is fantastic. 16 new patents for a movement. I think that's really cool.
I haven't seen it.
I don't know the movement, but
the design is debatable. Some people love integrated bracelets. Some people don't like integrated bracelets. I just seeing it personally was not the biggest fan. I can't judge until I have it on the wrist. I've heard people say it's the most comfortable thing they've worn. But the movement, the thinness of the case.
this
What's
is
the
what
diff-
I
but
love,
what's-
and
what's
this is why I
different?
love AP. It's
You said Rolex, no?
yeah, no,
Oh.
but I love the Land Dweller because it's so thin, and this is
Okay.
why I love AP.
Show me
I
after.
love thin watches. I love it
Yeah.
when they stick to your
Can we
wrist.
put up the image here somewhere?
Yeah, we will.
I'm curious to see.
It's like the Jubilee bracelet inversed. I don't know. It's like
Oh.
flat.
Yeah, it's like a flat Jubilee bracelet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the bracelet looks fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah.
that watch. I asked the
Jubilee?
yeah. I like subscribe on it, but on Berks to get it, they'll call me in 10 years. We'll see. So nice. Anyways,
You're so funny.
So since you're a watch guy, what is your favorite watch that you have in your collection? And yeah, so answer
Yeah.
that, sorry.
In my collection right now, the watch that I cannot get off my wrist is this one over here.
I was gonna ask you what are you wearing now, but
so
I
this
guess
is the Omega Speedmaster Moon Watch white dial. So yeah, here you go. So I changed the
Wow.
band on this, so this doesn't come on this band. But
oh, you could change the band.
yeah, of course. So it came
Wow,
on a metal
so
bracelet,
pretty.
but my Grail watch, like my Grail Omega, was the 2015 the Snoopy edition that says
Snoopy edition?
yeah
Cute.
Snoopy the
Cute.
Snoopy limited edition.
this is so nice.
Which it says failure is not an option on the dial, and
That's
Wow.
so cute.
yeah, and it has Snoopy on the dial. I think that's my Grail Omega, but currently it's trading for $40,000 on the secondary market, and yeah, it's not in my budget right now for a pre-owned Omega, but I wanted to have as close as a look to that watch as I can, and I was able to get the exact, like, the original bracelet,
I
the
love
original
it.
strap of that watch on this
Oh, wow.
on this
Very
dial.
nice.
So
Because it's very sporty looking. I love it.
yeah,
It's really
and I can
pretty.
put a leather strap on it, the
Yeah.
metal bracelet. So yeah, this right now, this is the first watch I got since we opened the Royal Mount, so it's kind of like means something to me as well. I had to wait a little while to get because it was very highly demanded. So yeah, I mean the Moon Watch itself is an iconic watch. To give you a bit of history, like
Moonwatch.
the Omega Moon
Omega one,
Watch,
okay.
like is literally the first watch worn on the moon, right? When
Ah.
NASA went to the moon, right? What was the watch that Buzz Aldrin was wearing when he stepped on the moon? Was Moonwatch, Speedmaster.
Fun fact.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah, so we look at these brands like luxury brands now, right? We think of Omega, it's a luxury brand. We think of Tag Heuer, it's a luxury brand. But when you go back in history, these weren't luxury, these were tools. Like, people use these things for survival, right? So, for example, if you look at an award that Omega has gotten is the Silver Snoopy Award. So what's the Silver Snoopy Award? It's in the aerospace industry, like brands or people get awarded certain medals, and Omega got the Silver Snoopy Award. And why did they get that? Is because on the Apollo 13 mission, when NASA went to space, they called it a successful failure because I believe they had a fuel shortage or they had an explosion, like their fuel tank exploded. So they had a very limited amount of fuel to get back to Earth, right? And the way they calculated it was they had about 14 seconds, right, of fuel left. So 14-second burst that would align them to get back into Earth's orbit.
Oh my gosh.
And what did they use to time those 14 seconds?
The watch.
Speedmaster.
Oh my God. Wow.
So Speedmaster saved lives. Saved the lives of those 4 astronauts. So this isn't just a luxury item. Like there's such a rich and deep history with these brands.
Wow.
Right?
But
Yeah.
see, a lot of people don't know these
Right.
things.
Exactly, yeah.
And I don't know where I would. Okay, on the
Well,
website, would it?
Come see us.
Oh yeah. No, of course. But this information,
Right,
when you
yeah.
go on your website,
Sure.
is it written about this information?
No, not in this depth, right? This is like stories that we hear and we tell, yeah, that we get in our trainings. And
So
like we talk
let's say
about, yeah.
somebody comes to your store and
Yeah.
wants to buy that watch. Would
Yeah.
you explain them?
I get carried away. I get carried away. Sometimes I talk too much. Maybe I'm not the right person. But no, if I see that there's an interest for these things, for sure. Like sometimes I could talk hours with clients. You know, it's a passion at the end
Yeah.
of the day, and you know we try to replicate that throughout our stores.
We see that.
Awesome.
We see that passion. I love
right
it.
through you.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So, a last question on my end.
Yeah.
What is one piece of advice to someone considering their first big luxury purchase?
Yeah. So luxury purchase or luxury watch and jewelry purchase, you would say.
We'll keep it at that.
Yeah, we'll keep it at that.
Luxury
Let's just-
watches
yeah.
and jewelry.
Yeah, so do a bit of research. You know, if you want to come to one of our stores, it would be more than our pleasure to take our time to walk you through all these different options and why what you're paying is worth this amount of money. And then don't buy it right away. Go home, think about it. Like do your own research and know that we're giving you a certain information and that like we believe this information and it's we want you to make an educated decision. And I think that's in anything. Like don't just impulse buying, we all do it, right? But I think when you're putting your money into something that's worth a certain amount, you want to think about it a few times, and we encourage that. So information is so accessible. Go online, go read different blogs, go read different reviews, and if not, go to trusted places. Come to one of our stores. We will take an appointment with me. I will gladly take time to walk you through all our different brands, whether it's jewelry, engagement rings, watches. It's
We'll put your email down
Please
below
do.
so
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
they'll have access to you directly. And our last question that we ask to all of our guests: what does financial freedom mean to you?
So I think financial freedom. I think the way I look at life is like there are different pillars of life, and financial is one aspect of them. Like financial freedom doesn't mean being finances being my only priority, because then the other things in my life will struggle. I think is when you have a full equilibrium of health, wealth, love and happiness, having a good family life, having a good social circle, being in good health, being okay financially. I think it's like all of these pillars, like feeling like you're contributing to something bigger than yourself. I think that's real freedom for me. And I think financial freedom is super important because you're able to maximize all of these pillars if you're financially stable and you're okay. And I think that if I'm making a lot of money, but I dread my existence and I dread my life, that's not financial freedom for me. Not at all,
100% agree.
right? So I think it's the ability to wake up, and tap dancing to work because you're happy because of what you're doing, right? And you're doing it with the people you love, and then you come back home to the people that you love, and you're living, and it's like all of these different pillars are tended to. This is to me is financial freedom.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Cool.
Well, it was very nice to have you with us.
This is great.
It was great. We had a great
you, Leon.
conversation.
Yeah, great
we
to
got to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
In the watch industry.
Exactly. We learned a little bit about watches and their history behind it. And
thank you.
Go
It's my
see
pleasure.
Leon.
Yeah.
Make
Maison
sure to
Monaco
stop by and
at Royal Mount.
we'll put his details down below.
Awesome.
Thank
you.
you. Cheers.
Cheers.